We have got to talk about what just happened with Meghan Markle. It started with a single post. No caption, no warning. Just Meghan Markle, barefoot and glowing with pregnancy, swaying awkwardly to early 2000s hip-hop in a dimly lit room. At first glance, it seemed like a harmless throwback clip. Maybe even an attempt to look fun, laid back, and a little nostalgic. But within hours, that innocent video spiraled into one of the most brutal social media backlashes Meghan has ever faced. What was supposed to be a moment of relatability quickly turned into a viral spectacle of embarrassment. And the fallout didn't stop at memes or TikTok jokes. This single video set off a chain reaction that shook Meghan's media empire to its core, infuriated Netflix executives, and led to a stunning collapse in industry support. But how did one Instagram post unravel everything she had spent years trying to build? Let's break down what really happened and why Meghan's brand may never fully recover. The public didn't just reject the video, they shredded it on Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, you name it. Users began dissecting every second of the clip like it was some kind of royal scandal. Slowed-down remixes turned her dance into a punchline. Auto-tuned versions mocked her voice. Some added fake laughter tracks. Others compared it to cringy mom dancing at weddings. But the worst part? People weren't laughing with her. They were laughing at her. This wasn't seen as charming or empowering. It was awkward, out of touch, cringe. The same woman who had once delivered passionate speeches about feminism and personal growth was now being mocked in meme formats next to reality TV stars and failed influencers. And because Meghan has long positioned herself as a serious advocate for social issues and emotional intelligence, the contrast between her curated image and this clumsy attempt at relatability was jarring. In the eyes of many, it felt fake, forced, and a little desperate.
Baby mama, this shot's been pregnant for way too long. I tell the DJ turn it off.
If she a baby mama,
Go ahead.
she gon' do that baby mama.
Work.
She gon' put it on you. She gon' do that baby mama.
But the real trouble didn't start until the video caught the attention of people outside the social media sphere, namely the top brass at Netflix. Meghan is under a multi-million-dollar contract with the streaming giant, and her current flagship project, With Love Meghan, was carefully crafted to showcase her as a reflective, mature voice on motherhood and life after royalty. A dancing video might sound harmless to most, but in the world of high-stakes media branding, it was seen as a reckless contradiction. Netflix executives, particularly co-CEO Greg Peters, reportedly viewed the post as a PR nightmare. It wasn't aligned with the tone of the show. It confused the audience. It risked undermining the very image Netflix had invested in promoting. Therefore, a harsh decision was made almost immediately. Meghan had to delete the video. No gentle suggestion, no polite request, just a direct order. But here's where things took an even messier turn. Meghan refused. She doubled down. In private discussions, she defended the video as an act of self-expression, her way of reclaiming the narrative after years of negative press and public humiliation. She saw it as a statement of empowerment, a way to remind the world that she could still have fun despite the scrutiny. But because of this, Netflix was livid. To them, this wasn't brave, it was brand suicide. They saw it as Meghan jeopardizing a carefully built media relationship just to prove a personal point, and they weren't willing to tolerate it. As a result, Netflix pulled the plug on her entire promotional campaign. Everything from behind the scenes, footage to planned Instagram Q&As was scrapped overnight. Even worse, Meghan was reportedly banned from participating in post-production. Her input, her creative control, it was all gone. She was locked out of her own show. This kind of fallout doesn't stay behind closed doors for long. The moment Netflix distanced itself, the rest of Hollywood followed. Industry insiders who had once praised Meghan for her media savvy began whispering a different tune. Internally, Netflix executives labeled her a liability. Meetings about future projects with Meghan and Harry were quietly postponed or canceled altogether. And then came the talent agencies. One reportedly issued a formal recommendation to avoid partnering with Meghan due to, quote, residual baggage. That's the kind of phrase you don't recover from quickly in the entertainment business. Suddenly, the woman who had once graced magazine covers and been the centerpiece of major media campaigns was being treated like a PR risk. And unfortunately, the damage wasn't just corporate. Even her loyal fan base started to crack. Forums and fan pages that had defended Meghan for years began admitting something they never thought they would say. She missed the mark. Supporters, who once fought tooth and nail to protect her online image, now questioned her judgment. This just isn't it, one fan wrote in a Reddit thread with thousands of upvotes. She's trying too hard. And perhaps most telling of all, her usual celebrity allies, people who often posted in support or rushed to defend her, went completely silent. No reposts, no comments, not even a single like. It was as if the entire celebrity circle around her had collectively agreed to ghost the situation. Whether it was fear of being dragged into the backlash or a genuine belief that she'd gone too far, the message was clear. Meghan was on her own. Then came the final nail in the coffin. With love, Meghan was released without fanfare. No premiere, event, no interviews, no press tour. Netflix didn't just delay the marketing, they buried the show entirely. Internally, one editor even joked that they should have just released the dance video instead. Viewership numbers were mediocre at best, and reviews weren't kind. Critics called the show directionless and overly polished, a strange contradiction to the raw authenticity Meghan seemed to be aiming for. One outlet described it as performative sincerity, which, whether fair or not, perfectly captured how many viewers now felt about her brand. The show didn't spark conversations. It faded into the background. And in today's content-saturated world, fading into the background is worse than being controversial. It means people have stopped caring. What began as a quirky Instagram post had now spiraled into a full-blown PR implosion. Meghan's refusal to take the video down didn't just alienate her corporate partners. It told the world she was more interested in defending her ego than protecting her legacy. And the internet is ruthless when it smells desperation. Memes turned to ridicule, support turned to silence, and admiration turned to apathy. Meghan's carefully constructed image of strength and grace was replaced by an unflattering new one, the out-of-touch celebrity clinging to relevance in a world that was quickly moving on. It gets even worse when you realize how quickly Meghan's influence started to unravel after this. Not long ago, she could post a simple quote about mindfulness and rack up hundreds of thousands of likes. Now, her engagement numbers have plummeted. Comments are flooded with sarcasm, memes, and outright criticism. People aren't just ignoring her posts, they're actively dunking on them. And it's not just the trolls. Blue-check accounts, former supporters, even verified influencers who once sang her praises now do one of two things: quietly unfollow or pile on with subtle jabs disguised as constructive feedback. That's the thing about celebrity culture. It doesn't take much for admiration to sour into cynicism. Once you lose the audience's emotional investment, it's nearly impossible to get it back. Because of this fallout, Meghan's future projects are in serious jeopardy. Rumors of her launching her own media company have been circling for months, but with this new stigma hanging over her brand, investors are backing off. Sources close to the industry have said that funding is drying up fast, and that Meghan's name no longer carries the same promise of prestige or clicks. Brands don't want to gamble on someone who might go viral for the wrong reasons. That's the new reality. And when you consider how much effort went into building her post-royal identity, how many interviews, docuseries, and emotional speeches were carefully orchestrated to craft an image of resilience and grace, it makes this moment even more tragic. It's not just a PR blunder, it's the crumbling of a foundation. What's particularly striking is how this entire scandal wasn't the result of a tabloid smear or some invasive press leak. It was self-inflicted. Meghan hit post. No publicist, no campaign, no strategy, just a spontaneous moment that shattered her credibility. That's what makes it such a cautionary tale. In the digital age where every move is dissected, a single misstep can rewrite your entire narrative. And Meghan, who spent so long trying to reclaim control of her own story, ended up handing that control right back to the public with one click. And yet, even after everything, she hasn't issued a formal apology or clarification. No Instagram statement, no interview explaining her intent, just silence. Some interpret that as strength, a refusal to feed the outrage machine, but others see it as arrogance, or worse, denial. Because staying silent while your career burns doesn't always read as graceful. Sometimes it just looks like you don't get it. And that's exactly what's fueling the final stage of this collapse. The perception that Meghan is out of touch, not just with her audience, but with the stakes of her own image. Internally, Netflix is already moving on. Executives have shifted their focus to newer, safer personalities. There are talks of restructuring their entire content strategy around less volatile talent. According to one insider, Meghan, once the crown jewel of their prestige programming, is now barely mentioned in internal meetings. Her once hyped series is buried so deep in the algorithm, you'd have to search it by name to even find it. And that's no accident. That's deliberate. When a platform starts erasing your digital footprint, it's a clear sign they want the world to forget you were ever part of the plan. Meanwhile, the internet hasn't forgotten. TikTok creators are still parodying the dance. Some even turned it into a trend, with influencers recreating her exact moves in mock-serious expressions, hashtagged with phrases like Duchess dropout and crown cringe. What started as a single misjudged post has become an entire cultural meme. And once you become a meme, especially one used to mock authenticity, it's hard to reclaim any version of authority. You become the joke people pass around. not the person they listen to. Meghan's current reputation isn't that of a misunderstood activist or a resilient former royal. It's the woman who danced her career off a cliff. To be fair, this isn't the first time Meghan has faced public backlash. She's endured years of media scrutiny, invasive coverage, and harsh judgment. But this time is different, because this time, the backlash isn't about what others did to her. It's about what she did to herself. And that changes everything. When people view you as a victim, they rally behind you. But when they see you as the architect of your own downfall, the sympathy dries up fast. And sadly, that's exactly what's happening here. So, where does Meghan Markle go from here? Can she recover? Maybe. Celebrity culture is built on reinvention. But if she does come back, it won't be through defiance or dance videos. It'll take real humility, self-awareness, and a serious recalibration of how she presents herself to the public. Because right now, she's no longer seen as the woman who broke free from the crown. She's seen as the woman who doesn't know when to stop dancing, even as the music fades out. And that, more than anything, should serve as a warning to every celebrity with a carefully curated brand. In the age of social media, it's not just your fans watching, it's your investors, your partners, your critics, and they're all just waiting for the moment you slip. Because when you do, it doesn't matter how royal you used to be. The internet will drag you down to earth, and they won't be kind about it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Was Meghan simply misunderstood? Or did she take things too far? Has the public been unfair? Or is this the cost of fame in the modern world? Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more celebrity deep dives, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.